Okay, here we got a 2020 Coolster 125, but this would pretty much apply to any one of these Chinese quads for the sake of argument, let's call them. You buy it, you put it together, and then you find out you cannot adjust the carburetor. Well, you can adjust the idle screw, but you can't adjust anything else. You can't open the float bowl. It's all tamper-proof. Well, that's not entirely true. You can easily undo all this. So as you can see here, there is your air-fuel ratio screw. That one's your idle. This is for your air and fuel. And down here, you can see there's regular Phillips head style screws holding the float bowl together. This is all pretty easy to do. So right here, they have a tamper-proof cover. It's back in focus. They put like a little tamper-proof cover over top of it. For that, all I did just drilled a tiny little hole in the cover, just by hand, just threaded the screw, just one turn. I used a longer screw to give it leverage, and then just popped. Cap comes right out. For the tamper-proof screws on the carburetor itself for the float bowl, focuses in, there we go. I just cut little flathead lines in them. Well, just cut little notches in them so you could put a flathead in it. I just used little cut-off discs, cut-off wheels, whatever you prefer to call them. They go to a Dremel tool. Just took a second, just cut a little notch in them. They come right out. And I got a bunch of screws and stuff laying around. I'm a mechanic, so I just put 2 new Phillips heads in for the float bowl, but this is a pretty standard thread. You can run down to a Lowe's, Home Depot, parts store, you gotta know Riley's, Advance, AutoZone, and get 2 new screws. And I'm really glad I did this, because the air-fuel ratio screw was turned all the way in and then had the cap put over top of it, which is pretty useless, and it gave it a massive dead spot all the way through the mid-range. It ain't warmed up. There's no choke. Right up. Got a much snappier throttle now. So that works out. You can buy the Mikuni clone VM22 26mm carburetors that are meant for any 125cc pit bike, Chinese quads, any of them. The VM22 will give you the same result, but if you take 20 minutes and you pull the carburetor off, you just got 2 10mm, one on each side. Take the carburetor out. There's a stop up here, right there. That'll prevent you from unscrewing the top. Once you take that out, you just unscrew the top, pull the carburetor over, take it to your workbench. Simple as that. Currently, for her air fuel, I have it out 2 turns. That's a good rule of thumb. You can start there. If it's too lean or too rich, you can adjust it 1/4 of a turn in either direction from there, but that's a good baseline to start with. The whole reason I did this was, here's her spark plug. On 93 octane gas, this is her spark plug after maybe 4 or 5 hours of riding over the last few days. As you can see, this thing was running way too rich. So now the carb can actually get adjusted. Personally, I take the spark plugs that come in them out. Here's the NGK equivalent. I definitely recommend using an NGK plug over what comes in here, but that's all I did, so I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.